Hello, my beloved friends. So, today I have channeled the Orion High Council, and these are the positive Orions. Okay, obviously, we already know that there are a negative Orion group who is currently working with the Anunnakis and the Greys and the Reptilians, and they are on Mars and they have negative agenda. And actually I got a inner insight and a feeling that the Orions, they wanted to channel me, and it turns out this message is like very important for us to understand what is being planned by the negative Orion groups. They are actually like planning something on the May 30th, which is coming. So I felt like sharing this video today. And also in this video they have talked about not only what they are planning, but how we can protect ourselves from these negative oriented Orions. And also how they have explained how soul switch works, which I found really fascinating. Okay, they have explained it using our language terms in a kind of a format of a story, because they said that we understand concepts better in a format of a story. So they have again explained this concept in a story format, just like the Pleiadians do. So these Orions, and also one more thing, these Orions, they whenever they are talking, they are saying a number. Okay, so between at certain intervals you will hear them saying numbers like 456 or 46 or something like that. And as far as I could not understand what that means. Okay, so if any one of you is an expert in numbers, I don't know what they meant. They between sentences or between between some things they say number. Okay, so this was a bit different. And these Orion collective, they have stated that they are separated from the negative oriented Orions. So they are a smaller group of positive Orions. So here is the session, after which I will explain you how to do what I understood from the session.
We are the Orion High Council, and we are communicating through this instrument, who has shown us the path of love and light and has given us an opportunity to express our thoughts and insights with humanity. We are a small group of Orion collective that are still on the Orion star system, and we exist in a planet that is separate from the negatively oriented Orion collective, which your kind knows, who are part of this collective known as the Crusaders, who at most times visit different galaxies in order to conquest, in order to increase their negative polarization by using thought form influence on the various planets. 109. These negative Orion entities are currently on the planet Mars and have the main agenda of increasing the number of negatively oriented beings from your planet, in order to prevent the planet Earth from cycling forward into the fourth density positive. Also remember that many other positively oriented beings, such as the Pleiadians and the other members of the galactic family of light, have sent forward light codes in order to assist you and in order to help humanity in this ascension process. 83. During the window that is now open to upgrade your consciousness from the May 26th to the June 10, These galactic waves will affect all those whose vibrations are at a high level, and we as the Orions are here to share with you that even in our collective, we are in the later phase of the fourth density positive cycle, and the other Orion Crusaders are in the fifth density negative cycle. Hence, we are in a less polarization compared to the other Crusaders, because we have a smaller number of souls who have moved upward in the level of consciousness 102. Even many of the souls from your planet, namely one of the souls known as Ghengis Khan, is now a part of the Orion Crusaders. And this entity known as Ghengis Khan, since it had its past life on your planet, is now helping the Crusaders in order to share its knowledge that had been stored in its Akashic records, because every single entity during its lifetime records everything, and all its experiences are recorded in the Hall of Records. So the Crusaders are using this entity known as Ghengis Khan to learn more about your people and to learn more about how to influence your people using this negative polarization thought forms. 113. These Crusaders cannot directly enter your planet. Therefore, these entities, the negatively polarized Orions, as known by your people, can use robotic entities such as the modified Greys and the modified Reptilians, and other robotic entities purely designed and driven by consciousness, which can enter your planet, and upon entering a planet provide thought form influences to the beings who vibrate at a negative polarization, or influences those beings whose physical vehicle is moving through an imbalance of energies. 7-8. These entities, they look for entities whose physical vehicles are imbalanced and whose body is full of fear and anxiety. These Orions from the Mars base are trying to activate some of the entities who are on the negative polarization, or who are about to become fearful and anxious and have negative emotions in the body, to work for them using their thought forms. These entities, they use the so-called astral projection state in order to influence these entities. 7-9. Therefore, these negative Orions approach many beings on your planet during their sleep state and make soul contracts with their higher self, which allows, depending on the free will of each entity, to choose either the path of positive or negative polarization. If such events are to be prevented, such entities on your planet must understand that whenever they go to sleep, they must, before entering the sleep state, always remember to enter the sleep state with the positive attitude or with positive thoughts, and never to enter the sleep state with negative influences, such as many a time before sleeping. During the daytime, many people, they think about negative events or unwanted circumstances that happened in their daytime or lifetime. Hence, they color their dream state or their astral state, which begins at night time, with these negative emotions, which can be influenced by these Orions. 148. Therefore, we as the small collective of positively oriented Orions, even though our consciousness may not be as high as these negatively oriented Orions, are here to help you to protect yourself from these entities during your astral state. Always remember, before going to sleep, as known in your language terms, to always think of only the positive events, and if anything negative has occurred in your daytime, to change it using your so-called imagination complex of your mind collective to the positive or to the thing that you have desired, and then enter the dream state. This way, you will be protected from any influences that are starting on the May 30th, 116. We feel that this message is very important to share to humanity in order to allow many human entities to save themselves from the negative influence which is heading or which has been planned by these Orions, as we are also a mirror image of these negatively polarized entities. We are in the positive cycle, and sometimes we can feel their agendas and we can sense what these entities are trying to achieve. Therefore, we have come here as a messenger of love and light to tell you how to protect yourself from these negative entities during your dream state in the coming days. 102. Also, let us tell you that this entity desires to understand the vibratory sound complex term known as soul switch. Since your people understand concepts better when presented in a story format, we shall do the same. Once upon a time, on a planet similar to your planetary sphere, which was cycling into the beginning phase of the fourth density consciousness, many beings used to visit that planet in order to influence that planet to enter into the positive or to stop it from entering into the positive cycle. 88. And there was one entity which many of your kind calls the photographers in your language terms in the planet, who used to love to capture images using its technologically, spiritually advanced mind-body complex, in which it did not require any extra equipment such as the cameras known in your language terms. It could capture images it so desired using its eyes complex in the illusion that surrounded it, and many a times it would be visited by entities from the different density of consciousness. And it would take images of these entities and this entity, however, of its involvement in consuming the unwanted products. Its physical vehicle was degrading, and hence it had lost all its hope in life, and it wanted to seek help from these interplanetary visitors. 130. Hence, one day, as known in your space-time terms, this entity met with such an interplanetary visitor from the higher density consciousness and requested help from these higher density consciousness visitors. Then the higher beings told this entity to enter into the dream state at night time and focus on meeting its higher self, which resides on the sixth density consciousness. This entity then in the dream state met its higher self, and its higher self was contacted by these beings in the same dream state, wherein these entities made a soul agreement with the higher self, with its agreement that this entity's physical vehicle would be swapped by their own soul in order to fulfill their purpose. 119. Hence, this entity's physical vehicle's silver cord was separated and the original soul was swapped at that night time, and the next morning this entity woke up with a new soul, and this entity's all previous problems immediately vaporized, because this new soul was from a higher density consciousness, which was from the fifth density consciousness, which had been a collective of one of the beings who had visited it before. 73. This entity in that dream state was able to switch its soul, and this entity was then able to use the physical vehicle of that entity in order to accomplish its purposes in the planet. Thankfully, this entity at that time space was positively polarized, hence this entity was able to share more love and light energies. And this entity became a well-known being in that planet who was able to share love and light energies to other people and changed many lives. 83. This is an example of how Soul Switch works on your planet. Therefore, beloveds, Soul Switch can work in both ways, either the positive or the negative polarization. can switch the souls based on the vibration and based on the higher self's agreements. Therefore, we are here to share with you that there is a possibility that many people on your planet will be triggered to soul swap during the coming days starting from May 30 by the negatively oriented Orions and their collective complex, who are trying to achieve this with the aid of an entity known as Ghengis Khan, who had previously been on planet Earth and who is currently a shipping clerk for the Crusaders 117. And please understand that the best way to protect yourself is to, before entering the dream state, enter with positive emotions, enter with love light. That will prevent any negative intrusion even at your astral state. And we are always here to guide you. And we, the Orion, leave you now in the love and light of the One Prime Creator. So, see you again. 5-9.
Hello my friends. So after watching the session, I have understood that the negative oriented Orions, they are on Mars and they are trying to send robotic entities in order to attempt soul switch on people who are at a negative vibration, or people who are going through certain imbalances in their physical vehicle. Now they do this using thought forms, they said, and most of the time they do this in their astral state, they are saying. So in the astral state, they can like create new soul contracts with the higher self and switch the soul in a similar manner in which they explained in that story of a photographer, which I found really like interesting. Also, they have stated that we can use, we have to protect ourselves, and to protect ourselves we have to only watch like positive things, and even if certain negative thing happened in our daytime, we need to replace it with something positive before going to sleep, because in our sleep state we begin to reflect that, and in our astral state the reflection gets reflected, they are saying, okay, which I had never heard before. And I found it really fascinating that they have also said that Ghengis Khan is a part of the Orion group. Ghengis Khan, who was an emperor, okay, he is now part of the Orions and is a shipping clerk, they said, who is working for the Crusaders, the negative oriented Orions, who want to conquer different planets by spreading their agenda. And I don't know, okay, like such a big emperor, okay, Ghengis Khan was actually a big emperor, and I believe he was kind of negatively oriented because he used to do a lot of bad things. Even though such a big emperor, he just became a shipping clerk in the Orion system. So I don't know, it's kind of like fascinating. So I felt like the negative pathway is not useful or not good to pursue, because look, okay, even if you do everything negative, you only become nothing good happens, you know what I mean. And I felt like the thing is that we need to protect ourselves by focusing on the positive, and by only taking in positive news or positive events. And if something negative has happened, change it into positive using our imagination complex. That is what they said. And before we go to our sleep, we can use that, and in our sleep we will remember, we will go into a positive state. And that is what they said. And thank you so much for watching the video, and stay tuned. I will put more sessions, and see you in the next session. Thank you.